Hello everyone, welcome to the Yarn Bowl. These cute buttons that I got from Joanne long time ago gave me inspiration to do this Disney inspired messy bun hats. And the characters that I'm gonna use for this messy bun hat are the same characters that are there in these buttons. So I'm gonna do Dumbo, the elephant, Murray the cat, Winnie the Pooh, and Mickey Mouse, and Tiggy the tiger, and this one right here is Dumbo the elephant. And it's a very simple and easy pattern. The one that I'm going to show you here is the child size. The free written pattern for the same is available in the description box. And if you would like to work the same messy bun hat for adult size, the pattern for the same is available in my Etsy shop. The link for that is available in the description box as well. Meanwhile, if you are new to this channel, please do not forget to subscribe to the Yarn Bowl and click on the bell icon as well so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. So you can choose any two color of size 4 yarn of any brand. The one that I'll be using today is Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn. I'm going to use rosy cheeks and white color, and for the brim I'll be using 4.5mm crochet hook, and for the hat I'll be using 5mm crochet hook. So we'll start with the rosy cheeks yarn and 4.5mm crochet hook, and when I'm going to start working the hat I'll switch to 5mm crochet hook. For the brim I'll start with rosy cheek yarn and I'll work a slip knot with 4.5mm crochet hook, and I'll work 10 chains. Once you have worked 10 chains, I'm going to work one single crochet on the second chain from the hook, and then I'll go ahead work one single crochet on each chain till the end. So once that is done, I'm going to work a chain 1 and turn your work, and then I will work one single crochet on the back loop of each stitch till the end. So you can see the front and back loop. I'm only going to pick up the back loop and work one single crochet on it. So I'll go ahead work one single crochet on the back loop of each stitch till the end. So now we are going to repeat this row 2 again and again until we reach row number 64. So I'm going to work a chain 1, turn, and then I will work one single crochet on the back loop of each stitch till the end. So working like this gives us a nice ribbing for our brim. So we are going to work this until we reach row number 64. Keep repeating row number 2 until you reach row number 64. You can see the ribbing that is getting formed. So we're going to keep repeating this. Chain 1, turn, and go ahead work one single crochet on the back loop of each stitch till the end. Keep repeating this again and again until you reach row number 64. Now you can see the ribbings. So each ribbing will have 2 rows. So keep repeating this. I'll meet you at the end of row number 64. So now here we are at the end of row number 64. You can see 32 ribbings. So as I said earlier, each ribbing will have 2 rows. So now we are going to seam these two ends together and start working on our hat. So for that I'm working a chain 1, and then I will fold this, and I'm gonna work slip stitches by choosing the back loop of each stitch and the corresponding loop of row number 1. Since that's the starting row, we'll have only one loop on it. So we are going to work slip stitches on the back loop of our last row and the corresponding stitch of the first row, and we are going to work slip stitches till the end. So this is going to seam your ends together. So once your ends are seamed, I'm going to fasten off, work a slip stitch, and then I'm just going to tighten it with a knot. So then you'll turn your work inside out and make sure this odd ends are at the top and not at the bottom, and we'll start proceeding with our hat. So make sure these ends are at the top, and we'll work with white color yarn for our hat. So I'm changing to white color yarn, and I'm going to change the crochet hook to 5 millimeters. So on each rib, that is 2 of these rows we have, right? So on each rib I'm going to work 2 half double crochets. So the idea is to work 64 half double crochets around. So we have 64 rows, which is 32 ribs. So on each rib I'm going to work 2 half double crochets. So I'm going to join this yarn and work a chain 1. This chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So you can then weave this yarn so that it doesn't unravel, and then I'm going to work 2 half double crochets on each rib so we'll get 64 half double crochets around. Or you can work 64 half double crochets evenly spaced. So I'm going to knot this odd end here, and then I'll proceed working on my hat. So go ahead, work 2 half double crochets on each rib around. You should have 64 half double crochets at the end of this round, and once we are done with this, we are going to work a slip stitch on top of our starting half double crochet to close this round. So this is the end of our round 1. So we should have 64 half double crochets at the end of round 1. So the entire hat, you need to count the number of stitches at the end of each round, because you're not going to add any new stitches or you're not going to miss any new stitches. So it's always got to count the number of stitches. You can also use a stitch marker to mark your first stitch. So I have done this hat plenty number of times, so I know which is my first stitch. But if you're a beginner, I would recommend you to work with a stitch marker. So I have worked slip stitch on top of starting half double crochet here. That's the end of our round 1. For round 2, I'm going to work a chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and then I'm going to pick up my third loop and work 1 half double crochet on it. So if you can see the V's right here, and when you slightly turn your work, you should have one more loop at the back. This is the V, and here you can find one more loop at the back. That's your third loop. You're going to pick it up and work 1 half double crochet on it. So I'm going to work 1 half double crochet on the back loop of each stitch till the end. So working this way, the V's are going to show up in the front like a chain, so which will give a nice texture to your hat. So go ahead, work 1 half double crochet on the third loop of each stitch till the end, and we should have 64 half double crochet stitches worked on the third loop. And once that is done, work a slip stitch on top of our starting half double crochet stitch to close this round 2. So at the end of round 2 we are going to have 64 half double crochet stitches worked on the third loop. So now our round 2 is done. For round 3 we are going to work a new stitch called pebble stitch. We'll see how to do it. So let's work round 3. For that I'm going to work a chain 1. This chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So always the pebble stitch round we are going to work on the wrong side. We'll see how to do it. So this is our right side and this is our wrong side. So pebble stitch rows we are going to work on the wrong side. So I'm going to work a chain 1 and turn your work to the wrong side. So you're going to start working our pebble stitches here. So I'm going to work one single crochet on the same stitch. And I'm going to yarn over, insert your hook on the stitch, pull up a loop. I have 3 loops on the hook, and once again I yarn over, insert the hook on the stitch, pull up a loop. I have 5 loops on the hook, and once again I yarn over, insert the hook on the stitch, pull up a loop. I have 7 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through all the 7 loops. This is the pebble stitch. And then I'm going to work a single crochet on the next stitch. When you turn to the right side, you can see a nice squishy stitch, which is our pebble stitch. And we're going to repeat working pebble stitch again. Once we have worked single crochet, yarn over, insert your hook on the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook on the stitch, pull up a loop 2 more times. You will have 7 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all the 7 loops. And then you will work single crochet again. So we're going to repeat working single crochet in one stitch and pebble stitch on the next stitch around. And then once that is done, we are going to work slip stitch on top of our starting single crochet stitch to close this round 3. So we are going to work one single crochet in one stitch and one pebble stitch on the next stitch around. So our last stitch will be a pebble stitch, and once that is done, we will work a slip stitch on top of our starting single crochet stitch. So at the end of this round 3, we should have 32 single crochet stitch and 32 pebble stitches. So now here we are at the end of round 3. You can see these beautiful pebble stitches. I have to work one more pebble stitch, which is my last stitch. And once that is done, I'll end this round by working a slip stitch on top of our starting single crochet. So you will tend to work one more stitch here. This is not a stitch. So that's why I always told you to count the number of stitches. We should have 32 single crochet stitch and 32 pebble stitches, and you should stop right there and work a slip stitch on top of your starting single crochet. So now let's proceed with the next round, round 4. I'm going to chain 1. Now we are going to turn our work to the right side. So the pebble stitch round we are going to work on the wrong side. All other rounds we are going to work on the right side. I'm going to work one half double crochet on the single crochet of the previous round and one half double crochet on the pebble stitch of the previous round. That is, we are going to work one half double crochet on top of each stitch around, and once that is done, we are going to work a slip stitch on top of our starting half double crochet stitch to close this round 4. So at the end of round 4 we should have 64 half double crochet stitches. So now that's the end of round 4. Round 5 we are going to work a chain 1. This chain 1 does not count as a stitch. I'm going to work one half double crochet on the third loop of the same stitch, and then I'm going to work one half double crochet on the third loop of each stitch till the end. And then once that is done, we are going to work a slip stitch on top of our starting third loop half double crochet stitch to close this round 5. So at the end of round 5 we should have 64 half double crochet stitches worked on the third loop. So now we are at the end of round 5. So I'm going to work a slip stitch on top of my starting half double crochet stitch to close this round. So now we are going to repeat this pebble stitch round, this half double crochet stitch round, and this third loop half double crochet stitch round one more time. And for the third time we are just going to repeat this pebble stitch round and half double crochet stitch round. So we need to work 5 more rounds of one set of pebble stitch, half double crochet stitch, third loop half double crochet stitch, and one more round of pebble stitch and half double crochet stitch. So we have worked 5 more rounds and we are at the end of round number 10. So the next round we are still going to work third loop half double crochet stitches, but we are going to do a decrease. We'll see how to do that. First I'll end this round 10 by working a slip stitch on top of my starting half double crochet stitch and see how we are going to work the decrease. So for round 11 we are going to work our decreases. So for that I'm going to work a chain 1. This chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and then I'm going to work one third loop half double crochet on the same stitch, and then I'll go ahead work one third loop half double crochet stitches on next 5 stitches. Altogether we are going to work one third loop half double crochet stitches for 6 stitches, and then we'll work third loop half double crochet 2 together on the next 2 stitches, that is the 7th and 8th stitch. So the idea is to work one third loop half double crochet stitch for 6 stitches. We have worked, and now we are going to work our decrease. I'm going to work third loop half double crochet 2 together on the 7th and 8th stitch. So we are going to repeat this around. We'll work one third loop half double crochet stitch for 6 stitches, and then we'll work third loop half double crochet 2 together on the next 2 stitches around. So we're going to repeat this till the end, and once that is done we are going to work a slip stitch on top of our starting half double crochet stitch to close this round 11. So at the end of round 11 we'll have 56 stitches. So now I am going to end this round 11 by working a slip stitch on top of our starting half double crochet stitch worked on the third loop. So we should have 56 half double crochet stitches worked on the third loop at the end of round 11. So now we'll work round 12. We're going to work pebble stitch round. I have worked a chain 1 which does not count as a stitch, and turn my work to the wrong side. I work one single crochet on the same stitch, and then I work one pebble stitch on the next stitch, and then I'll be repeating this around. That is, work one single crochet on one stitch and one pebble stitch on the next stitch around. So we should have 18 single crochet stitches and 18 pebble stitches at the end of this round. So altogether we should have 56 stitches. So go ahead, work 1 single crochet in one stitch and 1 pebble stitch on the next stitch around. I'll meet you at the end of this round. So we are going to work our last pebble stitch here. So you may always tend to work one more stitch on the pebble stitch round at the last stitch, which is actually not a stitch. So always count the number of stitches. Because you started with a single crochet, you should end with a pebble stitch. Now I work a slip stitch on top of my starting single crochet stitch to close this round 12. So as I told you earlier, we should have 18 single crochet stitch and 18 pebble stitch. Now for round 14, I'm going to work a chain 1, turn to the right side. This is again a decrease round. I'm going to work 1 half double crochet each on first 5 stitches, and then I will work half double crochet 2 together on next 2 stitches, that is 6th and 7th stitches. So we're going to work 1 half double crochet each on first 5 stitches and half double crochet 2 together on the next 2 stitches around. So this is going to decrease our stitch count even more. So our stitch count is going to reduce to 48 at the end of this round. We should have 48 stitches at the end of this round. So I'm going to work a slip stitch on top of my starting half double crochet to end this round 13. So at the end of round 13 we should have 48 stitches. So round 14 is the last round. So that's again a decrease round. You can see the decrease is coming up. So let's start working round 14. We'll work a chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. I'm going to go ahead, work 1 half double crochet on the 3rd loop of same stitch, and then I will work 1 half double crochet in the 3rd loop of next 3 stitches also. Altogether I have worked 1 half double crochet in the 3rd loop of first 4 stitches, and then I will work 3rd loop half double crochet 2 together in the 5th and 6th stitch. So I'm going to work 1 third loop half double crochet stitch for 4 stitches, and then I will work 3rd loop half double crochet 2 together in the next 2 stitches around. So at the end of this round we should have 40 stitches. So go ahead, work 1 3rd loop half double crochet stitch for 4 stitches and 3rd loop half double crochet 2 together in the next 2 stitches around. And then once that is done, work a slip stitch on top of our starting half double crochet stitch worked on the 3rd loop to end this round 14. So now my round 14 is done. I'm going to work a slip stitch on top of my starting half double crochet stitch worked on the 3rd loop, and then I'll fasten off, and then I'm going to work a slip stitch, and then I'm going to weave the ends. So go ahead, weave all these odd ends on your hat. So I've weaved in all the odd ends of my hat, and now I'm going to locate the 11th row of my brim, and on top of my 12th row or in the 11th row where I have worked the half double crochets with my white yarn, I'm gonna just gently roll a piece of yarn, a long piece of yarn on same color white. Just gonna insert that yarn. I'm just gonna tighten this around and gently pull that so that it tightens the body of the hat like that. It looks like a knotted messy bun hat. So I'm gonna just do that few more times, and then I will weave the ends together. Make sure it is tight before you weave the ends, and then you can snip off the odd ends. Now I'm going to choose this Murray the cat button, which gave me inspiration to do this messy bun hat, and then I'm going to sew this button to this hat. So I'm going to sew this button exactly on the place where we have made this little knot, but I'm going to sew this button on the brim. So here is our cute messy bun hat for child size. This is inspired by Murray the cat, and I enjoyed making other character colors as well. So I hope you enjoyed making this hat with me. Try your favorite color combinations and let me know your comments. And your kids are gonna love this messy bun hat. So I'll show you the other colors I've made. This one is a Minnie Mouse, and there are a few other as well. This one right here is the Tiggy the Tiger, and this one right here is Dumbo the Elephant, and this one right here is Winnie the Pooh. So I enjoyed making all of them. So kids will love these colors, and I hope you like them as well. So these are all child size messy bun hats, or you call them as ponytail hat as well. So my favorite one is this Dumbo the Elephant. I love this color, and this Murray the cat as well. So try this messy bun hat at home and let me know your comments. If you want adult size messy bun hat for the same pattern, it's available in my Etsy page. The link for that is available in the description box. I have a free written pattern for child size in my blog, theyarnbowlcrochet.com. The link for that free written pattern is available in the description box. Please don't forget to check it out. I hope you enjoyed this messy bun hat. Please try this at home and let me know your comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do not forget to subscribe to the Yarn Bowl and click on the bell icon as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.